Favorite Christmas movie? It is my favorite Christmas movie. All right, let me move this right over there, and then I will open up Audacity. And we can start recording. Okay, here we go. This episode of Switchcraft is brought to you by patrons like Ted Wagner. Support Switchcraft and my other content for as little as $1 and get exclusive rewards at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. Name. Patron. There we go. Let's make this bigger. Now, what's today? Today's going to be Tuesday, so that would be OP Seat. Episode 117 of Switchcraft is also brought to you by opseats.com. Head on over there. You can get fantastic gaming chairs that really feel more like a car seat than a desk chair. Extremely comfortable chairs. And for $10 off your order, please use the coupon code RUNJUMPSIT. That's opseats.com. Use the coupon code RUNJUMPSIT for $10 off your chair. Thank you to OP Seats for sponsoring this episode of Switchcraft. All right, and sponsor. Switchcraft is recorded live 3 times a week, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern on Tuesday, Thursday, and also on Saturday at whatever time the universe allows. That's totally a lie this week, though, because I'm recording this right now on Monday. It's the 4th, and I've got a meeting tomorrow. So if you're listening to this early, then you were either here for the live show or you're a patron. Otherwise, it'll be in the feed at the normal time. But if you were here for the live show, then I'm going to say your name right now. Head on over to twitch.tv/runjumpstomp to join chat and be part of this awesome community. We've got Vaxer is here, Joel Mead, Aerslia is here as well. Let's see, scrolling, Shabru is here, Aerslia, I already said Aerslia. Kodiak Moonwolf is here. Going through, Link 31254 is here. Penguin 811, who is also known as Kid Curdy, is here. And I think that I got, TF Wagner, our sponsor, or our patron for today, is here as well. And I think that might be everyone outside of the lurkers, who I can see that you're here, but you're not saying anything, and that's okay. Just being here is enough. So thank you guys for that. Let's start with a review. Joel Mead, 24, he's right here. He gave 5 stars for an Apple Podcast review. And he said, I've been listening for 5 months now. The show is consistently great. RJ brings a perfect blend of voice, sound quality, knowledge, level-headedness, variety, and depth. On top of that, he brings a nice personality to the table as well. I really enjoy his self-deprecation and his thick skin for when Discord members like me razz him on things like his cat. Keep up the great, incredible work. Great, incredible? Maybe we'll just say great. I'm not sure. Maybe I typed something wrong here. Keep up the great work. Best Nintendo podcast on the planet. Anyone who says otherwise will get a sideways look across the room from me. Thank you, RJS. Well, thank you very much, Joel, for writing in. I appreciate it. The reviews help. We're down to 4.5 average stars because of a couple of bad reviews that we got. If you guys could really do the show a favor and help me out, and just head on over to Apple Podcasts if you use it and review the show there. 5 stars helps bring us back up to that 5-star average, and that'll help more people find the show that way. I also received an email if you want to email the show, you can do so at runjumpstomp@gmail.com. This one reads, "Hey RJS, a friend of mine bought a Switch for his 2 sons for Christmas. He's looking for some game ideas that the 7 and 9-year-olds can play individually and together. While I know it heavily depends on the person, I wonder if you have any Christmas game ideas. You've always had great recommendations of both mainstream and independent games, and I've appreciated the every review and recommendation. Thanks, Tom, the big nerd." Well, I've got a few recommendations for you. The first one, since we're talking about a couple of kids, I would say the Lego games are fantastic. Really, really fantastic games. They're not for me. I don't like playing them, but my son loves them. And Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 just came out for the Switch, or it's coming out soon. I can't remember which. Also, there's Lego City Undercover. Those are two. Well, I haven't played Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, but Lego City Undercover is my all-time favorite Lego game. Really, really fun game to play. Very funny game. Now, I think on the Switch it has multiplayer, but on the Wii U it did not. I'm not sure 100% that it does or it doesn't, so make sure that you check that out. Other games that I would recommend outside of the Lego games, I would say ARMS is a very, very fun game. It's a fighting game, but there's nothing gruesome about it at all. So it's all very playful and harmless in its own Nintendo way. I would have people throwing things at me if I didn't say Mario Kart. Mario Kart is a great game for multiplayer. Not so great for single player. I mean, you can definitely play it single player, but it really shines when you're playing multiplayer. Now, luckily, there's online, so you can play it against other people online, and you don't have to worry. Nobody can talk to your kids because Nintendo's got that stuff locked down real hard. The one thing that I would keep in mind is if they've not played it before, they're going to get their butts kicked when they play online. And there's no two ways about it. I've been playing Mario Kart games for years. I constantly lose when I play online. And, you know, there's a good thing to that in that it'll teach them to lose. And that's something that I think a lot of kids, they don't learn these days. They don't learn how to lose. There's too many parents who let their kids win at everything because they don't want their kid to be upset. And I totally get why they would do that. But at the same time, if you never learn how to lose in a safe place with your parents, then what's going to happen is later on when you inevitably do lose, the kid might show how upset they are in public, and that's not good. Single player games that are also fantastic multiplayer would be Super Mario Odyssey. Kid Curdy is recommending Super Mario Odyssey. I've played that mostly single player. I played a little bit of it on multiplayer with my son joined me. One of you controls Mario, the other controls Mario's hat, Cappy, and it was pretty cool. But really, I feel like that's a better experience playing that single player. I will tell you a game that I played with my son, who's 9, is Shovel Knight, and we had an absolute blast playing Shovel Knight multiplayer. Now, this again is a game where it's very, very difficult. You're going to have trouble getting past stuff sometimes, and if they're younger, they might be more inclined to quit. Just keep that in mind before you pick that game up. It's a really good game, though. Shubru in chat is recommending Puyo Puyo Tetris. That's a really great game to play, and that's up to 4 players. So you could join your kids. And the one thing that I will tell you is that you can set the handicap so that when you're playing, the game plays a little bit faster, whereas the kids will give them more time to equivocate and figure out what it is that they're going to do. That kind of evens the playing field and makes it so that they have a chance to win against you. Whenever I play it, my wife and I, we like to play that game quite often. And we both feel like the Tetris is way easier than Puyo Puyo. So that's something else to keep in mind. Some people will gravitate towards the Tetris side and some people will gravitate towards the Puyo Puyo side. for me, Tetris is super easy. Like I can zero in on that, but Puyo Puyo side of it is like outside of my expertise. I haven't played that a whole bunch. Um, Finally, another game that's really great for multiplayer would be Super Bomberman. That's a game that didn't start out super well at the beginning, but at the same time, they have consistently. Is that Capcom? I think it's Capcom. They've consistently patched that game over and over and continually improved it over time. It runs at 60 frames per second now and is a pretty fun game to play. And they've even added in like tournaments and things like that to spice things up at free of charge. Anyway, thanks Tom for the email. Hopefully I've given you some choices. Um, as it turns out, in this ridiculous first year of the Switch, we have just so many games to play, and so you're going to have some tough time choosing between all of those things. Other ways that you can get a hold of me, you can tweet at me at Run Jump Stomp on Twitter. You could call and leave a voicemail. That's 260 Run Jump. That's 260-786-5867. And finally, you can join the community on our Discord at runjumpstomp.com/Discord. Join that community and talk to all of the fantastic people that hang out in the Nerd Nest. I appreciate all of you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you. Let's move on. All right. No, I do not teach English. I teach science. What am I looking for? What is this called? Oh, feedback. Well, thank you for the feedback, Kid Curdy. I appreciate that. No Monopoly, no. I will not recommend Monopoly. No, thank you. Not for 40 flippin' dollars. If it was $10, then I'd say, yeah, why not? Then you can have it with you all the time. But for $40, you out of your mind. I had a drill sergeant when I was in the Army, and she would be like, let me move this away. She'd be like, Private, you done lost your mind. That's what she would say. You guys think that the new camera angle is okay with the zoomed in? Just let me know. All right. Let me open this first. And then let me open this. Well, Capcom has announced today that Mega Man 11 is coming. It's coming to the Switch, the PS4, the Xbox One, and PC. This isn't coming until late 2018. They announced with a video. I'm watching the video now. It looks like it looks fantastic. It almost looks like cell shaded cartoon style graphics. It looks gorgeous. I'm very excited to play this. I've never been a huge Mega Man fan, and that's because I didn't really play it back when I was a kid. However, when I first started streaming, and I don't think that these are actually before I started streaming, I had ideas of I was going to try to make YouTube videos, and so I went through and completed Mega Man 1. That game was really, really hard, and I had a lot of fun with it, and everybody says that the games just got better from there. So I'm looking forward to playing Mega Man 11. I think that overall the gameplay looks really good. It looks very classic and with some extra bonus things added in. And I'm happy that they're bringing this to the Switch, as well as PS4 and other places. Now, my one concern is, are they going to hit that 60 frames per second? Because on a platformer, games are I'm sorry, platformers tend to be really really important that they get those pixel perfect jumps, especially Mega Man. Well, I remember when I was playing through Mega Man 1, those jumps had to be pixel perfect, and the idea that you could be playing through and miss a jump because it's not running at 60 frames per second would be really really frustrating. So I'm hoping that the game runs at 60 frames per second on the Switch. If it does not, then I will probably end up picking it up for the PS4, because this is the type of game where it's very very important to have a high frame rate. Um, Speaking of Mega Man, we also had other news from Capcom today. They also confirmed that every Mega Man X game are coming to consoles, including the Nintendo Switch. So I don't really know the difference between traditional Mega Man and Mega Man X. I just know that at some point they started making Mega Man X games, and then they continued to make regular Mega Man games, and I've not really played much of them. Uh, but we're going to get all of them. Every single Mega Man X game. I think there's 8 of them total, and they're all going to be coming to the Switch. Now, all of this Mega Man talk, we really don't have prices yet. And what I'm curious is, what do you guys think is a good price for not just Mega Man 11, but Mega Man X? Now, for me, when I think about this, I feel like Mega Man 11, that's a new game. And I think I would say it's a side scroller, and a lot of people will look at that and say, well, that doesn't take as much work in a side scroller as it does a 3D game, so it's not worth as much. And I don't think that that's true. But I would pay $60 for it, but my guess is that most people would not. And so I'm going to guess that we'll probably see Mega Man 11 come in at $40 on the Switch, as well as other consoles. It might be $50 on the Switch because of the cost of the cartridge. We'll see what happens there. And then finally, Mega Man X, like all of those games, are we going to get them in one big bundle, or are we going to buy them individually? That's the question. I hope that it's individual and you can buy each one. Actually, you know what? I hope that it's not individual. I hope that they give you an option. You can either buy them one at a time, or you can buy the whole bundle and maybe get a discount. And I think that a fair price for a Mega Man X game for each one would probably be about $7. And maybe they could give and here's what I would do if I were Capcom. And Capcom, if you're listening, which I know you are. They're not. What I would recommend that they do is give Mega Man X away for free on all platforms. So the game is just free. And then have in-app purchases or microtransactions. And I know that people are like, what is wrong with you? I'm just saying, give microtransactions where you just are buying the next level. So Mega Man X2 you could buy for $7, or you could buy all of them and unlock all of them for a discount of like $5 a piece. That way, I feel like this would be good for consumers. If you know that you're a fan of Mega Man X, you probably will buy all of them at once and you'll get it at a discount. And if you don't know if you're a fan of Mega Man and you play the original Mega Man X for free and you're playing through it, you're like, man, this game's really good. Then you can turn around and you can say, I'm going to buy that, but you probably don't want to buy all of them because you're not so sure that you'll get through all of them. So you'll just buy them one at a time. And if you're buying them one at a time, then Capcom is getting more money. So, you buy a Mega Man X2 for $7, whereas the super fans that know that they love the Mega Man games, they're going to get them for $5. Anyway, that's the pricing scheme that I would go with for the Mega Man X games. And I think personally that I would, even though I'm not a huge fan of Mega Man X or of any Mega Man games, just because I haven't had much experience with them, I feel like I would probably buy the whole shebang all at once rather than piece it out one at a time. Vaxer in chat says that Mega Man 11 $60 is too much for that. So I'm curious what you guys think. Email me. Let me know. runjumpstomp@gmail.com or tweet at me on Twitter at runjumpstomp. Or you can just join the Discord and have a discussion there in the Nerd Nest. All right. Let me get rid of that last part. That last all right, because that was, shoot, what did I just do? Okay, good, I got rid of it. Mega Man. See you later, Kid Curdy. Thanks for coming by, man. All right, what's next? I don't think there's going to be a lightning round today. Hey, Ken, what's up, man? I didn't even see you sneak in here. There is a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild broadcast announced for next week. It's weird that they didn't call it a Nintendo Direct, which is what they usually do. But over the weekend, Nintendo announced that Japanese streaming service Nico Nico is going to host a broadcast on December 12th at 7 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Included in the broadcast will be a focus on Japanese musician and voice actor Ichihiro Mizuki. They clearing of all of the game's trials from June Trial and Sword DLC. And then it says that Nintendo is soliciting players to submit their memories of playing through the game, with selected entries being shared in the broadcast. Now, they don't say anything about Champion's Ballad, but for crying out loud, the Champion's Ballad, for those of you that don't know, is DLC Pack 2, and Nintendo has, they showed us, or they told us the tiniest amount of information about the Champion's Ballad, basically its title, and then it has something to do with Zelda. Big surprise there. And that it was coming out this year. And then they've really been quiet about it, other than reiterating that it's coming this year. Even when Nintendo's, oh my gosh, what's his name? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Even when Nintendo's producer of Breath of the Wild, oh man, I almost had his name off the top of my head and I've forgotten it. Anyway, even when he was accepting an award for Breath of the Wild, they said, look, we're very busy still working on Champion's Ballad stuff. And they keep saying that it's coming out in December. Guess what? It's December. It's December 4th right now. And my guess is that we're going to be seeing it. They've got to talk about, you know what? I take this back. They don't need to talk about it next week. They don't need to talk about it at all. And here's why. The Game Awards are coming. Let me stop and look up, when are the Game Awards? Game Awards 2017. December 7th, 2017. Oh, okay. All right, so I just looked it up, and the Game Awards are happening on December 7th, so in 3 days. Now, that is a place where a lot of stuff tends to get announced. Nintendo has been really doing well with their marketing this year, with the Switch and with its games. I think that we're going to see some very important stuff dropped at the Game Awards. I believe it was 2 years ago when we first saw Breath of the Wild at the Game Awards. It was Shigeru Miyamoto and Mr. Aonuma, that's the name I couldn't think of earlier. They were showing off how you could use the tablet in order to mark places on the map and then go to those places. And this was back when it was just the Wii U, not showing off anything of the Switch. So my guess is that we'll probably hear Champion's Ballad stuff in 3 days. That's That's what I think is going to happen. And that'll be 2 days from when this episode goes up on the actual feed. Thank you, Arislia, for reminding me that it's not actually Tuesday. So if we don't hear about it on in 3 days from now, on the 7th, then I anticipate that we'll hear about the Champions Ballad stuff at this presentation on Nico Nico. And if we don't hear from it then my guess is, good God, Nintendo, you've got to tell us something. Unless they're just going to pull one of those things where they show it off and they say, and it's available now. I always like it when they do that kind of stuff. Well, a lot of people bought Xenoblade 2 Pro controllers and then dismantled them in order to find out if the uh-oh, what's uh-oh? Why are you uh-ohing? What's the matter? I'm not dropping any frames. Vaxer. You're freaking me out, man. You're freaking me out. I do have Christmas lights on. Ho ho ho. That's right, I have Christmas lights on. That's what you were... Oh, that's not uh-oh, that's oh. Oh my gosh. All right, let's go back. Actually, let's save before we go any further. Save project as. Scared me like that. I thought something was wrong with the feed. All right. Well, it's been a couple days now, and people have gotten their grubby little hands on the Xenoblade 2 controllers and started dismantling them to find out if, in fact, the D-pad is different than the original Pro controller, or as I like to call it, the OG Pro. And I guess it is. It looks like it does, in fact, have a slightly longer post. There are many pictures of it out there. You can definitely tell the difference between the D-pads. One of them has the teal arrow buttons and one of them has the gray arrow buttons on the D-pad. And the Xenoblade 2 has a slightly longer post. Did Nintendo do this on purpose? There's really no way to know. What I'm hoping is that they did. And that because a lot of people say that it feels better. Now, I've never really had an issue with the Pro controller on the Switch. I think that the Pro controller on the Switch is a very good controller. I like it a lot. It might be my favorite controller ever. Well, maybe second favorite. It's just really hard for me to decide. But I think it's a fantastic controller, and I've never had an issue with the D-pad at all. That being said, a lot of people have had an issue. And if this is something that makes people happy with their purchase, then hopefully Nintendo takes whatever it is that they've the changes to the mold that they've made, and they transfer that to the regular Pro controller. So what I'm sure that will happen very soon is that the people who went out and bought a Xenoblade 2 controller and take it apart, they're probably going to head out and buy a new Pro controller. The tough thing is how can you tell when it was manufactured and if it were new or not? So I think you're going to see a lot of people speculating on whether or not this change has made its way across to the OG Pro. Anyway, take all that with a grain of salt. And if you haven't picked up the Pro controller already for the Switch, you probably aren't interested in it. I think it's great. It's really, really comfortable to play on, and I highly recommend it. Yeah, you know what? Shoot, dummy. My son and I, we were. Hey, Dan, what's up, man? See, whenever I play Tetris, my wife and I just use the Joy-Cons, and I like the Joy-Con for that. Yesterday, my son and I were playing Cuphead, and he was using an Xbox controller. He was using the Xbox controller, and I was using this. Now, the thing that I love most about the Steam controller is how customizable it is and how great it is for first-person shooters. I really, really did not like playing on Cuphead with this. I much prefer playing on Cuphead with this. And honestly, if I were to tell you my two favorite controllers these days, because I've said for a long time that this was my favorite. My two favorite controllers these days are the Switch Pro controller. I think this is a fantastic controller. The sticks are really, really good. It fits in your hand really well. I like it a lot. And the PS4 controller, I think that this thing is incredibly comfortable, and the triggers on the PS4 controller are fantastic. Like, these are great triggers. They really feel good. My one gripe with this is that the battery life on this thing is terrible. The battery life on the Switch Pro controller is fantastic. Arisley says the Steam controller always seemed weird to me with the touchpad joysticks. These things are fantastic. These, I wish more companies would use. I wish that Nintendo would replace the right joystick with a pad and learn to use it. This is not so important, but this is really, really good. Another thing that I really like about the Steam controller, and I know it's a Nintendo show, why am I going on about this? It's got a fantastic stick. Unfortunately, you never really use it because you're almost always got your thumbs on the pads here. But this is fantastic. This is really, really good. And the reason it's so good is because this is really more of a one-to-one move. So when I move my thumb back and forth, I'm directly controlling exactly what's happening on the screen. When I use a stick, that's not true. It's not a one-to-one move. And the advantage of these is of the Steam controller is how customizable it is. Now, why is that great? Well, guess what? When you hook up your PS4 or your Xbox One controller to a PC running Steam, all of those customization options are still there. You still get all of those customization options. So Valve has the best software for customizing your controller. Unfortunately, my biggest gripe with the Steam controller are the little tiny buttons right here. Where are they? Yeah, right here. These buttons, they're small, and the thing that I love most about this that I wish was on the Steam controller is the big flat buttons. They're big and they're flat, and these have these little tiny buttons, and they kind of, you know, they hurt your thumbs after a while. So I like this controller a lot, but only on certain games. Only on certain games. I played all of Doom using this controller. All right. Let's go back. We'll save. We'll do the next one. All right. Well, if you haven't heard of Rainway before, they're at Rainway app on Twitter. Rainway is this company who are making an app to allow you to stream games from your PC to any device. Basically, kind of like how if you have a Steam Link, you can stream your PC to your Steam Link somewhere else in your house. Or if you've got a PS TV, you can stream your PS4 games to that device anywhere in your house. or I guess that you can also stream your PS4 games to your computer anywhere in your house if you've got the requisite software installed. Well, Rainway has been teasing for a really long time that they are going to be bringing it to the Switch, and they posted. Was it today? No, it was yesterday. They posted yesterday at 9 a.m. They said day one is almost done. Even more cool stuff tomorrow. And then they showed a picture of people playing on the Nintendo Switch. I am so perplexed at the idea of this, and not because I think that it's a bad idea, because it's certainly not a bad idea. I think it's a great idea. The thing that I don't get is Nintendo on board with this? Are they doing all this work only for Nintendo to say, you know what, you're not going to be pushing this out? Because this is essentially, if you look at Nintendo historically, this is the kind of thing that Nintendo would get in the way of and say, you know what, no, we don't want this. This is going to be the kind of thing that leads to piracy, and we don't want piracy on our platform. And boy, oh boy, I'm just really, I mean, imagine that you could have an emulator on your PC that has every Super Nintendo game, and then you could use Rainway to stream those Super Nintendo games onto your Switch. Yes, you're still stuck in your house with it. You can't do it when you're away from, well, actually it says anywhere, anytime. So, you know, it's going over the internet. As long as you have an internet connection, you can stream your games. That doesn't seem like something that Nintendo would allow. And so I know that a lot of people are very excited for this, but I'm just worried. Not worried. I have a lot of doubt that this is going to be something that ever comes to the Switch. I'm curious as to what you guys think. Do you think Rainway is something that Nintendo will allow? Because I think that they're going to shut it down. I think they're going to say, you're not putting this on our App Store or Game Store or eShop. That's the word I was looking for. Good luck doing it on Android devices and stuff like that. There we go. That's the last news story. I don't have a lightning round today. That's what I think, Baxter. I think Nintendo's going to block them. Nintendo's not going to let that happen. All right, let me bring up what's coming out soon. Holy cow. Today is the 7th is Thursday. Okay. Since last time, the only game that I've been playing is Final Fantasy XIV. Not on the Nintendo Switch, so I'm not going to talk about it here, other than I'm having a lot of fun with it, playing it on the PS4. Let's see. Between now and there's no lightning round today because there wasn't a whole lot of news to talk about today, but that's okay. We can do with a light day. So let's talk about what's coming soon. December 5th. That's tomorrow, or today if you're listening to this not live, or if you're a Patreon, not a patron. It says so what do we got? We got on the eShop Caveman Warriors and 9 Parchments. 9 Parchments is my son and I played the demo, and the demo seemed kind of fun. He didn't like it very much. There's friendly fire in the game, and it's a multiplayer game where you're wizards looking for parchments, and you can shoot spells at each other and then combine the spells to do more damage. But you can hurt each other, and he didn't like that. I thought it was really cool. I would not play it online. Like, this is a game where communication is really, really important, so that's not something I'm interested in. Also coming to the Switch is This Is the Police. Those are the games for December 5th. The next episode is December 7th. And it looks like we've got a whole bunch of stuff coming. So on the 3DS eShop, we've got Square Boy versus Bullies Arena Edition, Japanese Rail Sim 3D Travel of Steam. Well, I don't know what's going on there. Christmas Night Archery is on the 3DS eShop. And then for the Switch, we've got a lot of stuff. Human Fall Flat, Tesla Grad, which I think is a site. I think I've seen Tesla Grad before. If I'm remembering right, it's a side-scrolling, maybe it's a Metroidvania kind of game. Looks really cool. I think it's on my Steam wish list. Then we've got Phantom Breakers, Battlegrounds Overdrive, Dimension Drive, Embers of Mirim, Slain Back from Hell, Neo Geo, Top Hunter, Roddy and Catchy, Yodanji, I've never heard of that, Acorn Tactics, Plantera DX Edition, the Sexy Brutale, Riptide GP Renegade, Red Game Without a Great Name, Vostok Incorporated, Plague Road, and Gunbird for the Nintendo Switch. It's getting to be. There's so much stuff coming out that I might just stop listing the games that are coming out because I can't possibly keep my eye on everything. And looking through all of this stuff, there's just so much that I don't know about. So maybe I'm just going to leave this stuff off. If you feel strongly one way or the other, if you want me to always list the upcoming games before the next episode, just jump into the Discord and drop some information in the feedback channel. By the way, I've gotten a bunch of feedback about boy, non sequiturs here. I've gotten a bunch of feedback from you guys about that you want the feedback section of the show in the beginning of the show. So I'm going to keep it there. And I appreciate you guys letting me know that stuff. That's really great of you. But if you don't care one way or the other of what's coming up, for me to list off stuff, then, you don't have to let me know. But if you really want it there, or if you would prefer that it's gone, please do me the solid and send me an email. Let me know on Twitter. Say something on the Discord and just let me know that it's something that we should get rid of, because I feel like sometimes I'm just reading it to read it, and it might be better if I just make the show a little bit shorter that day. Well, anyway, speaking of short, that's all the time that we have for today. If there's a story that I missed or a topic that you would like discussed, please let me know it one of the ways that I've discussed throughout the show. If you're looking for ways to support the show, head on over to runjumpstomp.com/support. There you will find links to my wife's Etsy shop, my Patreon. You'll find my Amazon affiliate link. If you're doing some holiday shopping, make sure you use that link. It's also here in the show notes. It really, really helps us out. And finally, thank you to Noteblock and Tom Winter for the music featured on today's show. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit up their YouTube channels and give them a subscribe. Real quick, want to let people know, it was funny. I was just sitting, I have to, whenever I play my Switch or my PS4 or anything hooked up to my computer, I have to have my streaming software open. And that's just so that I can get sound through my speakers. And it was funny, I was playing yesterday and I got a new subscriber, and I wasn't streaming, which, really surprised me. And that was Fuertismo. And I really appreciate the fact that you guys come to Twitch and subscribe here. Now, one thing that I want to let you know is a free way to support the show. If you are a member of Amazon Prime and you go to twitch.tv/runjumpstomp and you connect your Twitch account to your Amazon Prime account, you can then subscribe to my channel or any streamer's channel for free, and it doesn't cost you anything. And Amazon just sends me money. It's really, really cool that they do that. One thing to keep in mind is that it does not automatically renew. So if you subscribe and you want it to keep coming, you just got to come back in a month and hit that subscribe button again. Anyway, thank you guys for listening and hanging out with me. I'm out of here. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye. There we go. Outro and save. We're done. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me today.